All right, gang, I'm going to talk to you about more deals for you, and we're talking about the house of Parfums de Marly today. In this video, I'm talking about all the deals you can get for Parfums de Marly fragrances, and there's a lot of deals to be had. So Parfums de Marly seems to be one of the most hyped brands out there. I haven't been speaking a lot about the brand. I haven't found something that's super awesome. The last great release from the house was ALTHAIR, which I really love. It's a great vanilla. Previous to that, it was after that, it was Perseus. But this year, I think they launched... What was the fragrance they launched this year? I didn't even get it. It was a freshie. I didn't want to, go after that fragrance. But there's been some awesome scents from the brand. And I'm going to tell you what the deals are right now in this video. And if you're shopping for some fragrances during all the, deals and sales happening during Black Friday, you're going to want to check these ones out. So first fragrance I'm going to talk to you about is the first fragrance I bought from this house going back to around 2014, so over 11 years ago. This is Herod. Herod still remains to be my favorite fragrance from this house. It's a tobacco fragrance, but very elegant and gentlemanly. It's tobacco, it's a bit dirty ashy, it's a bit fruity from the osmanthus. There's lots of vanilla here, so it's sweet, it's spicy, super awesome fragrance, super sexy, absolutely love it. This is currently 125 ml for $220, so it's a great price. These fragrances are over $400 for these bottles, so you're saving almost 50%, if not more than 50% off for these fragrances. So let me know if you're a fan of Herod. Herod still remains to be my favorite fragrance from this house. I absolutely love that fragrance. The way it smells, it's super awesome. I guess I would say it's not as potent as some of the other fragrances of the house, but I just love the way it smells. It smells really, really great. But the next fragrance I'm going to talk to you about is OAJAN. So OAJAN is also, I think, kind of related to the way it smells, but OAJAN, I think, is more of a gourmand, whereas Herod is not necessarily super gourmand to me, but it has gourmand touches. OAJAN, on the other hand, to me, smells like honey drizzled over baklava or simple syrup or whatever, but it's cinnamony, spicy, it's sweet and a bit doughy, is nutty, and tonka kind of touches in here as well, but it gives you a really nice gooey holiday spicy kind of a delicacy vibe. So awesome, so gourmand. And I'm talking about the men's fragrances here first. I feel like OAJAN is a very unisex offering from the house. So it's OAJAN from the house of Parfums de Marly. Then we're going to the house. We're not going to that. We're going to the same house. We've got PERCIVAL, which is this in this blue bottle. This is, I think, Marly's blue fragrance in the ballpark of fragrances like Sauvage and Bleu de Chanel and things like that. This is currently 125 ml for $225. So I got the prices for the 125 ml bottles, by the way. The OAJAN is $226. The PERCIVAL is $225. Herod is $220. So it's a great price for these fragrances, especially when the suggested retail price is over $400. But all the fragrances are also tagged in the video. So as I'm talking about them, the YouTube allows me to tag, and you go shop directly with the discounters that I'm tagging. But the PERCIVAL is an aromatic, spicy, metallic, sharp, cold ice, kind of a fougere style fragrance, very modern fougere blue fragrance, quite long lasting, quite crisp, slight metallic, ice cold qualities, but it's all lots of aromatics, lavender like aromatics, herbs, and also citruses. Actually, it's smelling really great. I haven't pulled it out in ages, and this is PERCIVAL. It smells really wonderful. It's classy. It's also a bit of a dumb reach fragrance because it's the type of fragrance that you'll pull over and over again. You won't get tired of it. But the next fragrance is ALTHAIR. It is 125 ml for $225. This is the vanilla fragrance from the house of Parfums de Marly, but it's super spicy and dry, but gourmand as well. And once again, it's quite unisex, I think, whereas PERCIVAL is masculine leaning. I think ALTHAIR is definitely more on the unisex side. But what I like about this one, it's a dry, woody, ambery, spicy vanilla. So it has autumn written all over it, kind of dry. And, after the summer, everything dries up. It gives you that kind of a vibe with the texture of the fragrance. But, of course, it's, chock full of syrupy vanilla in this, sweet notes. But of course, when it's connected with all the dry notes, it dries up and becomes a kind of a dry vanilla fragrance. I actually think it's a delicious fragrance. If you haven't tried ALTHAIR, please do. Definitely unisex leaning once again from the house of Parfums de Marly. So then we're going to go to SEDLEY. SEDLEY, I'm at the very bottom of my bottle here. I think this is a fragrance created by Olivier Cresp. I'm drawing a blank. Some of the fragrances are Hamid Moradi Kashani. This one is Olivier Cresp. I believe they work quite a bit with, Marly does work quite a bit with Firmenich, and also I think Givaudan as well. They do quite use a lot of their perfumers. But SEDLEY is, on the other hand, similar in the ballpark of PERCIVAL, but I don't think it's as crisp and metallic and sharp as PERCIVAL is. There's something cozy and soft about SEDLEY in comparison to PERCIVAL. So it makes for a bit more inviting, but I find that the PERCIVAL's sharpness is perfect for hot weather. It kind of blends with hot, sweaty bodies and creates for a really nice musky touch with all the aromatics and spices in that fragrance. But this one gives you a bit more of a cozy vibe. I feel like there's tea in here. It's a bit more creamy, but once again, it's full of aromatics and spices, citruses, and I believe this one also has musky touches like ambroxan and things like that. I think it's definitely a fragrance to try if you like more freshy fragrances, more masculine leaning fragrances. Both of them are blue bottles, as you can see, but this is a lot more sharper, the PERCIVAL, and the SEDLEY is a lot more creamier. So then next we're going to talk about HALTANE. HALTANE was launched as an exclusive for Harrods. Obviously, you can see the Harrods color here. So it was launched as an exclusive for Harrods. I felt like it smelled like some fragrances from Initio. And if you guys aren't aware, Initio is a sister house to the Parfums de Marly house. And I believe it's a couple, a husband and wife. The husband started Parfums de Marly, and then Initio came after with the wife creating it. But this, to me, smells like dusty, woody, oody kind of powdery, fragrance. It reminds me of Initio's Oud for Greatness, but maybe a little bit more like Oud for Happiness. But it's got something cocaine-like happening in here, the way the fragrance smells. Powdery, dry, a bit white, but strong and intense. But for sure, oody, powdery, dusty, spicy. It's the kind of fragrance it is. It hasn't turned out to be one of my all-time favorite fragrances, but I've enjoyed it more and more throughout the years. But when it first launched, I was thinking it was a bit too similar to things that Initio had launched. So this is HALTANE from Parfums de Marly. So then we've got Greenley, and this has become a favorite fragrance of mine. I don't know what it is about this fragrance. At first, I thought it was a bit too mass market, but the green apple note in this is so super juicy. I love that about it. So that's Greenley right here. And as you can see, I should definitely get myself a new bottle. I think it's a great fragrance. If you like apple and fragrances and you like juicy kind of freshness, drippy, juicy apple and musky notes, this has got a lot of cashmeran, I believe, or some kind of a musky note in here, and you definitely need to try Greenley. I think Greenley is perfect for summertime. It's a fun, playful fragrance. It's not serious. The green apple gives you that kind of ozonic freshness and drippy juiciness. But, along the way, there's musky notes, citrusy touches, and, woods and amber musk in the base. I love that fragrance. I love the way it smells. It's a dumb reach fragrance. It's not anything serious, but it puts you in a happy mood. Next, we've got Carlisle. So Carlisle is a super intense fragrance that might remind you of Red Tobacco by Mancera. And there's also a fragrance from Terenzi that also smells a bit similar. So, but I feel like if you're comparing this to Red Tobacco, even though it smells like it, the Carlisle is much smoother, whereas Red Tobacco comes off very rough. Very, very rough. But for me, I also feel like if Herod and Layton got married and had a child, super beastly child, it would be called Carlisle, because I feel like there's tobacco-ish touches in here, sweet vanillic touches, and of course the types of touches that are in Layton. I love that smell. And then, yes, for sure, it reminds me of red tobacco. But as I said, smooth and creamy. Like, I feel like they've taken out all the rough edges of red tobacco and smoothed it over here with Carlisle. Let me know if you guys get that connection. So that's Carlisle. And I think I've been forgetting to tell you the prices. Carlisle, 125 ml for $276. Greenley, 125 ml for $220. HALTANE, 125 ml for $250. SEDLEY, 125 ml for $236. So these are some great prices, as I said. So next we've got Perseus, and I think this came out last year. Was it last year? Perseus is a vetiver, I think it was grapefruit, right? It's not mandarin orange. So it's vetiver, it's fresh and juicy, zingy, zesty from citruses. Yeah, it's a very fresh, summery fragrance, but if you want some depth and you don't want just freshness, you've got some kind of grassy, woody, woody touches, aromatic, grassy, woody, earthy touches from the vetiver. The vetiver is definitely noticeable. It's also kind of spicy here. I feel like there's peppery spices, nicely blended together. I just find it to be very easy to wear. You know, it's bright, it's sunshine in a bottle, kind of. As you can see, the bottle is quite sunshine colored. And then, of course, it gets deeper as it's drying down with that earthy, grassy touch of the vetiver. It's a simple fragrance, but, you know, along the way, there's spices and stuff. So that is Perseus. Then we've got Layton. Layton is, I think, the most popular. I think you can find Layton and Layton Exclusive here at the discounters. Perseus was $210. Layton seems to be very expensive, and I think it's the most popular seller from the brand. Layton, actually, it's a 200 ml bottle for $293. So 200 ml bottles are new. I didn't even notice they had those until I was checking. But 200 is like double the size of, well, actually, no, their bottles are 125 ml, as I've been saying. But they do have one that's 75 ml more in a larger bottle for $293. So you have kind of a lifetime supply of Layton to wear. But sometimes these fragrances go down fairly easy. This is spicy, slightly fruity, green, aromatic, vanillic, creamy woods as well. I get cardamom here. I think it's a really pleasant fragrance. It's been copied a lot, though, also. I think this is a Quantum Biche fragrance, correct? Am I wrong? I'm always mixing up the perfumers for Marly for some reason. I don't know why. But yeah, that's a great DNA. And I think, as I said earlier, if you took Herod and Layton and married and they got a kid, you'd end up with Carlisle. Do you get that connection? Let me know. Add a comment below. And next, we've got Galloway. Galloway is one that I'm not too familiar with. And Galloway you can get for $200 for 125 ml. It's kind of, I mean, the color of the bottle kind of tells you everything about it. I think it's kind of clean and powdery, maybe musky and dry. I feel like there's aromatics in here. It's coming off a bit metallic as well. I think that white, clean, crisp quality. It's super powdery though. It kind of reminds me of Lalique White a little bit. I think that's why this one might be not so exciting, but it is currently on sale, 125 ml for $200. Then there's KALAN. For me, KALAN is a misunderstood fragrance. I never get, a lot of people say this smells to them like Baccarat Rouge, and I don't get the connection whatsoever. I don't get it. I don't get Baccarat Rouge whatsoever. In fact, this reminds me more of fragrances like Oud for Happiness and things like that from the house of Initio. Yeah, it's not a love, it's not a hate. I just don't know if I really love it to wear it, but I don't hate it to say I will never wear that kind of a thing. But I don't know why the price on this one is quite high. It's 125 ml for $302. So you're saving about $100 on this one. So the next fragrance, I don't have my bottle here. It's BYERLEY, one of the best fragrances from this house, and I thought it was discontinued. I'm going to go find my bottle. I'll be right back. Okay, I found my bottle. It's actually stored away because it is discontinued, but maybe there's some stock out there or something, but this is available, and it's currently 125 ml for $300. It's one of the best fragrances from this house. It did get discontinued. It's a vetiver fragrance, but it's kind of dark and smoky, but bright and aromatic as well. So it's not like weighing you down with the dark and smokiness, but you have it against the brightness. Plus it's earthy, woody. It's a really, really great fragrance by BYERLEY. I don't know where it came from. I thought it for the longest time, it was no longer. It was discontinued. But if you don't know this one, I recommend it quite a bit. But you got to be into vetiver, okay? Vetiver is key here. This is the key note here, and it definitely drives this fragrance. One of the best from the house, as I said. There's been a few fragrances that have been discontinued from this house, but this is the one that saddened me the most. I don't know what it is about this fragrance that I really, really connected with the very first time I got it. I'm in love with it. Thankfully, I have a fairly full bottle, and it's the kind of fragrance that also doesn't go bad because there's not much fresh notes. It's deeper, woody, spicy, earthy kind of notes. So I won't have to worry about it going or turning because the top notes, there's not too much citruses, if at all. So that's BYERLEY. And as I said, that's $298 for 125 ml. Really awesome stuff. So then we've got Pegasus. Pegasus, where are you? Pegasus is in the silver bottle. Kind of an almondy aromatic fragrance. To me, I think this is Marly's answer to Reflection. It's quite powdery, but this is also got like floral notes, so also got the almonds, and also has aromatic notes. So to me, it's kind of like a distant relative to something like Jean-Paul Gaultier's Fleur de Mal, but in a more almondy, powdery direction rather than the orange blossom neroli thing happening with Fleur de Mal. In fact, I feel like Reflection Man might be a bit closer as Fleur de Mal, but here it gives me that idea, but more in an almondy, powdery direction. Anyway, that's Pegasus. I didn't list the Pegasus Exclusive, but there is Pegasus Exclusive as well. I'll tag it. Pegasus Exclusive is much darker than Pegasus, and I feel like Pegasus might be the more popular between the two. What do you guys think? I also didn't list the Layton Exclusive, and Layton Exclusive also gets a bit animalic and gets darker and more intense with the oudiness. So those are all available, I believe. But as far as Pegasus goes, the original is 125 ml for $276. And then I'm going to end this list until I move over to the ladies section of the video with the ladies fragrances. It's Godolphin. This is the cheapest that's selling right now. It's $196. Godolphin is, to me, sort of like a Tuscan leather fragrance from Tom Ford. So it's slightly fruity, very leathery, a bit industrial, oily, greasy, and also ambery take on leather. Really lovely, really lovely. If you like Tuscan leather, you're gonna like this one. They do remind you of too much of one another. Also, ombre leather has that kind of similarity, but I feel like the Godolphin is pretty beefy, pretty intense. And also, it's $96 for 125 ml. So those are the men's fragrances that I'm going to talk to you about. Then we've got Delina for the ladies. So I think from what I hear, Delina is the most popular fragrance from this house. I thought it would be men's fragrance because I think they were more known for men's fragrances for the longest time, but Delina supposedly is. And Delina prices are a bit more high, and it's a 75 ml at $235, so you get less juice, and it's about the same price as some of the other fragrances that we were talking about. So Delina is created by Quentin Biche, and it's that kind of rosy, creamy, fruity, freshy. It's a floral, fruity fragrance, and a very popular fragrance. It comes off, there's a greenness in there as well. It's almost like not so ripened kind of a fruit that you pick off the tree. You can smell its kind of greenness because it hasn't like matured yet to give it sweetness, because there's a bit of a tartness in here. And that's coming from the fruits, I think. But there's lots of rose, it's a bit green, it's juicy. There's also a milky characteristic with this as well. So it adds a layer of coziness and sweetness. Anyway, that's Delina. And then we've got Delina Exclusive. So the Delina at 75 ml is $235. Delina Exclusive at 75 ml is $250. Yeah, the prices for the ladies are more expensive, which is weird. Delina Exclusive kind of takes the original into a bit more darker direction. So that kind of unripened fruity touch is a bit gone. It's a bit darker, and it also gets a bit amberier, and I think the spices intensify here as well. So you're kind of losing the freshness. So it's getting deeper and darker, and a bit longer lasting as well, because you've got some more intense notes in the dry down when the fragrance is drying. But still, you'll remember the original. You'll be remembering it. You'll smell it. So that's Delina Exclusive. And then, of course, they've got the Delina La Rosée as well. And this is 75 ml, 220, whereas the Exclusive is 250. So the La Rosée takes the original into a much more dewy, wet section or area. Yeah, this is a lot wetter. It's a bit more transparent. It's cleaner, and also a bit marine aquatic. It's almost like the flowers and the fruits have been rained on, and you can kind of pick up the smell of the rain and also the smell of the flowers and the fruits. The creaminess is also gone, so it's much fresher. Depends on what you like. Delina La Rosée, 75 ml for $220. And then we've got Valaya Exclusive. I don't have Valaya Exclusive. I didn't find a great deal on the original Valaya, and I haven't, it's been a while since I sampled Valaya Exclusive. These are all Canton Biche fragrances that I'm talking about so far. Valaya does remind me a little bit of Fleur Narcotique. But also it's got that kind of transparent musky vibe here. Fruity, fluffy, airy, musky. That's Valaya. But Valaya Exclusive is 75 ml for $186. We've got Oriana as well, and I believe Oriana is created by Nathalie Lorson and maybe with Hamid Moradi Kashani. Oriana reminds me of Orange Blossom with sweet vanillic notes. So Love Don't Be Shy, but more in a Delina way. If you like the idea of Orange Blossom sweetened up with vanillic sweet notes, this is the fragrance for you. And if you like Love Don't Be Shy, definitely check out Oriana. I actually really love that DNA because I really grew up eating, sweet treats with the Orange Blossom. So it makes me happy. And then the last fragrance I'm going to talk about is CASSILI, $215 for a 75 ml. This is just a fruity floral. It might not have the hype and excitement as the other fragrances, but I just wanted to point it out. To me, once again, you do have a similar kind of fresh fruits kind of a vibe with the stems or the greenness of the fresh fruits that haven't ripened too much, just like I got from Delina. And it's also slightly creamy. And this is also citrusy and powdery. I don't know what it is about fragrances and how, they become very popular. I don't think CASSILI has become as popular as Delina, but there are some similar qualities between the two. Anyway, those are the fragrances I'm talking about. It's a promotion happening. Lots of great deals on these fragrances from Parfums de Marly. If you're in the market for a fragrance for yourself or for somebody, I think this is the best time to take advantage of buying these fragrances with all the discounts that are happening. There's a lot of discounting happening here. It's also great to buy discounted fragrances now because they're always putting fragrances on promotion for the holidays, for gift giving and things like that. So take advantage of these promotions right now before they run out, and let me know which of the Parfums de Marly fragrances are your favorites. Do add a comment below. But thanks so much for watching today. As I said earlier, no, I didn't say that yet, but I'm saying it now. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions or comments, please list below. Like this video and share it, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Bye-bye.